Hey, beautiful souls. Wanna say hi? Wanna say hi? Say hi. It's my dog. So today's topic, may be controversial to some, but it is something that I do feel needs to be talked about. And it is the notion of the divine feminine and the notion of the divine feminine being suppressed, right? So, in many religious dogmas, you will see the divine masculine, or, the men being, held on a pedestal, being recognized, being acknowledged, things like that. But what you don't really see is the divine feminine in the women being recognized and acknowledged. And to me, it's like a problem. Because, and it's not necessarily like a tit for tat, men against women, or men, or like one gender, like one energy is like better than the other. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying, and this goes back to the video that I was talking about duality, you need both ends of the spectrum in order to see the full picture, right? And I just feel like we're missing that part of the whole picture, which is the divine feminine. And it's really unfortunate that that is the case, because there are so many, incredible women, and even, just the divine feminine in general, like just that energy. The more that I study it, the more that I'm just like, okay, like why has this not been, presented to us? And even if you think in terms of, because, I grew up in a Christian household, so, they always say the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. But, as I got older, I was like, okay, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, that's cool, but what about the women? I always thought about that. And, I know they talk about Mary a lot, and things like that, but it was kind of like the women were like sort of like on like the back burner, and I don't know, I don't really fuck with it. I don't really fuck with it. And it's just like, I think the divine feminine and that energy just needs to be more appreciated, and definitely brought more to the forefront. Just because that's just, like I said, it's just my honest opinion. And I definitely think that both the divine masculine and the divine feminine, you know what I'm saying, they're both needed in order to, see the totality of, like divine energy. But I think that society has been very much in the divine masculine for a very long time. And it's like almost like we've like forgotten about the divine feminine. And I actually do have a book that I am reading. I'm just gonna go ahead and give me 1 second. Go ahead and get it. Okay. It is this book. It is called Return of the Divine Sophia, Healing the Earth Through the Lost Wisdom Teachings of Jesus, Isis, and Mary Magdalene. Okay, and when I first got this book, just upon reading it, I was just like, wow, like this is crazy. So I'm just gonna read some things that I've highlighted that, you know, I think are really important that I want to share with you all. Okay, so in this part of the book, she's talking about um, witches, okay, but that's not the point. I'm not talking about witches right now. I'm just going to talk about what I highlighted. So it says, so she says, the cauldron you see is like the womb of the earth, the womb of women everywhere. It is dark and round and mysterious, and from life it springs, even if that life is only a well-cooked stew. The earth is the same as the cauldron. The nurturing power of the feminine grows something wonderful from the dark womb that is our Mother Earth. Although most people take this for granted because they are disconnected from the natural world, it is still true. The mother gives us everything: air, food, water, all our plants, our trees, our wood, our fabrics, even our animals. It's all offered from the bounty of the mother. Life germinates in the womb. This is true for all creatures. It is part of the great mystery of life, death, and rebirth. Cauldrons represent the alchemic laboratories that symbolize the nature of women in sacred life. So just even in that, just, you know, the fact that everything literally comes from the womb, right? Like nothing can be birthed without the womb. So do you see what I'm trying to say? Like I just feel that a lot of times like the divine feminine is just overlooked. And it's not recognized and it's not appreciated, and I do feel that that's why the world is the way that it is because we have been operating in the masculine energy for a very long time. And, you know, I really do think that in order for our world to become balanced and for the evolution of humanity, I think that we need to start bringing back in some divine femininity and some divine feminine principles because, you know, all this war and violence and, you know, being greedy and money hungry and, you know, things like that. Like, it's not, I don't know about y'all, but it's not really working out too well. Okay. So also I want to read another part that is really interesting. Okay. And it says the male version of the creator has had plenty of press these past few thousand years. There are many advocates for a vengeful, punishing God, a God who separates and divides, who judges and condemns, a God who destroys or conquers everything that will not submit. I felt the power touch her like a flame. I, for one, choose life. I choose a creator who unites. I choose peace and unity, not division and war. Our world has seen enough of that to last many lifetimes. Condemnation, punishment, original sin, blame, and shame seem to be at the root of all patriarchal religions, from Islam to Christianity. They said they revered women and yet they oppressed them. They said they were bringing forth the teachings of the prophets of love, yet they were more than eager to tell you that you would go to hell. To me, something was fundamentally wrong with any version of the Creator who would only bless one group and send the others into oblivion. Yet this was the world that we had been born into, a world where men taught oppression in the name of God. And their way was taking the entire planet down a path of abuse. We saw it in the exploitation of children, the killing of animals, and the pollution of natural resources. They gave no thought to the generations that would come after. Their only concern was their own profits right now. I remembered then the creed that our Native American ancestors had tried to live by. Make no decision that does not serve 7 generations forward. This ensured that we would become wise stewards of the land and the people. So I'm going to jump down a little bit. Shasta's voice cut in, pulling me from my contemplation. But who remembers the great mother who actually creates everything, the one who gives everything on this planet life, who honors her? Tears sprang to my eyes. I could think of nothing to say. All things are born of women. Tricia, I think that's her name. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Shasta continued in a voice soft with power. It was so plain a truth that I could not believe it had never occurred to me before. She was right. Nothing will be born or live without the creative power of the female. So it says, honestly, Tricia, in all the cosmos, it is only the mother who is the life giver. So just in that part alone, that just makes me think, and it makes me question what I have been raised on. It makes me question just how much we have pulled away from, you know what I'm saying, honoring, Mother Earth, how much we have stepped away from honoring the divine mother, the divine feminine, and just how that has taken, a toll on our world. I mentioned before about, Lemuria and Atlantis, and these ancient civilizations, and how they were more advanced, just on all levels. And honestly, at the heart of all of them, it was like love. It was based around love. It was based around divine feminine energy and principles. And I believe that if humanity could, get back to that, get back to their hearts, get back to their heart centers, we could shift, humanity, in I guess like in, I don't want to say a better like evolution, but moving us towards, becoming more evolved, right? And this conversation is not to bash any religions. I just want to make that very clear. It's not to bash any religions. It's not to bash what has been taught to us, but it's just, I'm taking the opportunity to show the other side, right? I'm taking the opportunity to show the part that has been missing. Because, as I said in the beginning of the video, you have to have both sides in order to see the full picture. So, if we're only shown one side of the spectrum, then you're not going to be able to see the full picture, right? And also, I just want to say, also, I'm not a feminist, so I don't want to give off that type of energy either. But again, I just want to show you that missing part that I feel like is why things are the way that they are. And I do think that slowly but surely, like, the rise of the divine feminine is coming back, and people are starting to realize that really, like, the world cannot go on without, you know what I'm saying, without the divine feminine, without women, you know, things like that. But it's just something to ponder on. It's just something to marinate on, something to think on. And, you know, in regards to, you know, the Native American, let me see it. You know, what the Native Americans live by, you know, for the next 7 generations. Like, do we want the next 7 generations to only be operating in a patriarchal, excuse me, mannerism? Do we want them to just be like completely cut off, you know what I'm saying, from, you know, matriarchal, you know, principles? So like I said, this it's just I'm making this video to kind of, you know, spark, you know, spark something within people, just for them to think about. Like, I'm not doing this to try to change anybody's opinions or views or anything like that. Again, this is just me merely just, you know, putting a concept out there for people to think about. Okay. Another thing that I really like about this book is that the author actually puts some goddesses in here, right? So let me just... So like, for example, she puts in Kuan Yin, and it says Kuan Yin is the mother of boundless compassion and mercy. Here she holds a dragon fan in her hand, a reference to the Kundalini life force to which she is connected. Okay, so that's Kuan Yin. White Buffalo Calf Woman is a Native American wisdom teacher who taught the 7 sacred rites to the people. These include the sacraments of the Sweat Lodge, the sun dance ceremonies, and the peace pipe of balance between the male and female. Then we have Isis, is the I am presence of the Divine Mother. She was the goddess of healing, wisdom, and magic in ancient Egypt. And again, these are her illustrations. So if you see different illustrations, that's just how she decided to see them. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Any other ones? Yeah, I'm trying to find this stuff. It's help me. Oh, here we go. Nope, never mind. These are just more diagrams. oh, here we go. Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom, diplomacy, and battles, often depicted with the shield and snake, representing the Kundalini life force energies of awakening. All right. So again, you know, but I feel like these things are not being taught, and I feel that that's like having an effect, you know, on how the world is, you know, operating. And I do believe that the more that the divine feminine becomes acknowledged and, you know, is appreciated and is honored, I do think that it will help, you know, the modern world with everything that's going on. So, yeah, I just wanted to take the time to talk about that. And again, if you all want to get the book, it's called Return of the Divine Sophia. So yeah, that is the topic that I wanted to discuss for tonight. And if you know this resonated with you, if you know you want to talk more about it, comment below. If it, you know, sparked something within you, let me know. If you want to share it, please share it. Like, you know, whatever the case may be. And yeah, that's all that I have for you all. And I know that I've like been like on go with these videos, but it's like once my mind has, you know, gotten a topic, it's like I have to get it out so I don't forget. So if it seems like, oh my gosh, she's just putting out videos back to back to back, it's just because now I'm kind of like in the flow. I'm in the flow now, and I just want to get out the content to you all. All right. So that is all that I have for you. I hope that you all have had a good day. Hope you all are having a good night. And I will see you back here again for the next video. Peace and blessings.